Hey, Chitarin. I think everything is looking good. Except me, haha. I can't be seen tonight. But yeah, here we are. Hey, Bear. And yeah, just so we all start off on the same page, I'm not doing that great today. I had to really push myself to get out of bed and start streaming, so maybe we'll do a bit of a shorter one. I'm just aiming to see how far I can go. Maybe like around 2 hour-ish, if that's okay with everyone. Yeah. I didn't want to cancel, not like half an hour before stream or something. It didn't feel like the thing to do. It felt wrong for a lot of reasons. But also Tuesday I will not be streaming because I'm out of town. So I really wanted to do this, but maybe, yeah, in a bit of a more diminished capacity, if that's all right. So yeah, apologies for that. But oh, it's okay. We'll see how far we go, right? Because usually, like, when I'm feeling like not that great, but then I start streaming and I get into the story, it gets a bit easier. Yeah. So let's just see how it goes and how we feel. All right. So it's my third day holed up in Iznik. I'm continuing my search of the staff records for the elusive Sion. I still don't know how to pronounce this, but let's say Sion basket. Taking a break from the endless lines of text, I raise my eyes from the page and stare out the window at the snowy scene beyond. Lost in the view, it's hard to remember exactly what I'm doing. Basket? I've been chasing after that name with such single-minded focus that for a second it loses all meaning to me. Yeah, semantic satiation. Shion? Okay, that's also much easier for me to say because it's like more Japanese-like. So yeah, I did. That's actually what I heard when she first said the name before I ever saw it written. But then I saw it written and I was kind of like second guessing myself. But yeah, if that's acceptable, then I'll go for that because it's much easier for me as well. Okay. It's like when you say a word so many times, you start to doubt whether it's even a real word at all. Which is why... Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know. I'm not knowledgeable enough to be able to tell, is it the case or is it not? Yeah. Thank you for the info, Chidarin. I'm grateful for my Amitia partner's suggestion. It's nice of her, but honestly, it's a bit much to stop for a tea break every hour or so. Her knock comes right at a moment of peak concentration as she reappears with the tea. I feel like I've been shaken roughly awake from the early stages of sleep. The guileless smile she's giving me is making it hard to get the words out, but I forge ahead. She wants to be in the flow. I get it. Before I can finish, Rika-san cuts me off, clapping her hands together to emphasize the words, that's exactly it. Ay. Of course. She must have been waiting for the right moment to bring it up with me again. Oh god. So sorry. Wait, what is this? I hate how namby-pamby I am. What does that mean? And I've never seen that before. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Chidarin.
副会長となった義務感から言っていると思ってる？それは違うの。この学院が好きだから詳しく知りたいだけ。
That's how the Japanese she is transcribed in Russian? Ah, okay. I see.
そうなのよ。だから
Hi, Rika. Her intentions are pure. But she doesn't know she's getting in the way. Oh. She's about to say it's fine, but her words are cut off by a knock at the door. And someone entering the room without waiting for a response. Oh.
よー白羽、昨日の話だけどさ。
Our visitor trails off upon seeing me with Rika-san, apparently sensing the mood between us. Then she smirks.
まずいところに来ちまったみたいだな。
She leers.
別に邪魔じゃないわ。そうかい？今から押し倒すところだったように見えたんだけどね。
I mean, what best way to diffuse the situation and take the attention away from the important stuff that she shouldn't be in the know of than using Erika's typical humor. It's perfect. Realizing that she's well into my personal space, Rika-san quickly takes a step back.
こいつは他愛ない忠告ってやつだけどな。どんな状況でもベッドマナーってやつが。
Well, they already have one.
控えてくれよ。だからそういうことじゃないの。
Rika-san's braids are practically bristling. Politely ignoring this, Rika-san wheels herself over to my desk and places a sun-bleached book atop it.
昨日話したやつについてだ。私が持ってきた本の中にあったから参考にしてくれよ。
I reflexively clutch the book containing a reference to tulpas to my chest and thank her profusely.
昨日話した？エリカさん、スオさんから何か頼まれ事をされたの？こっちが勝手に持ってきたんだが。どうした委員長？故郷に笑顔を忘れてきたか？
Erika-san teases her, trying to lighten the mood. But Erika-san's expression remains tense as she stares fixedly at the book in my arms. What should I do? Flatter her? Tell her it's to do with scary stories, so you didn't want to ask her. That's a good one. That's a good one, even though it's a lie. Oh, that's the answer. That's actually the answer. Okay. Clutching the book Erika-san brought me to my chest, I quickly rack my brains. I have to cut this conversation short without hurting Rika-san.
ね、リッカさん。何？確かにエリカさんへあることを尋ねて、そのことが書かれている本を持ってきてくれたのだけども。私には相談してくれなかった。
Yikes.
そうじゃないの。リッカさんに尋ねたくても聞けなかったの。尋ねたくても。
I take her hand as I explain. Oh my god. We're going all in.
エリカさんに尋ねたのは、とあるお化けの伝承なの。そして持ってきた本には、そのお化けのことが詳しく書かれているのよ。
I mean, yeah, I guess you can call it a creature and a ghostly phenomenon, like if you stretch it a little bit. I'm not telling her the whole truth, but it's not a lie either.
そうだったの。私を気遣って。嬉しいわ、スオさん。
I feel bad a bit. Relieved that I've succeeded in my goal, I released her hand and flashed Erika-san a smile.
つまり白羽は怖い話が苦手な委員長に気を使ったんだよ。尋ねられたものの詳細が載っている本を持ってきたのさ。
Right? You don't like ghosties and things, do you? She asks, and Rika-san pulls a face and shakes her head.
そういうことだったのね。ごめんなさい。私が誤解していたわ。まったくだぜ。委員長は導火線が短いんだよな。
Okay, Erika, we really don't need to take it that far, though.
駄菓子屋で売ってる爆竹並みだ。
I cut into Erika-san's ribbing to tell Erika-san that it's my fault for giving the wrong impression.
スオさん、仲直りを兼ねてみんなでお昼を食べに行きましょうか。賛成。人生は短い。揉めている暇なんかない。
Yeah, especially when you could be eating instead of that.
エリカさんだけには言われたくないわ。そいつは私が厄介事を持ち込んでくるってことか。どちらかといえば解決している方だぞ。春に私を陥れたこと、まだ忘れてないわよ。
Erika-san breaks into a grin under her reproachful gaze, and my Amitia partner smiles back at her. The two of them do actually understand one another.
そうだ、厄介事を持ち込むで思い出したんだが、佐々木姉が面白い提案をしてきたんだ。私は乗ってもいいと思うんだが。
Her lips curve up into her cat-like smile. If I'm being completely honest, this is my first ever time playing in the snow. Oh, snow bunnies! Oh, so cute! Oh my god, is that... oh, that's big. That's a snowball? Yeah, it is. It's the bottom of a snowman. Wow. This is so cute. What the heck? Look at that. Oh my gosh. Chidori making the snow bunnies. So cute. They're still in their autumn uniform though, aren't they? When are they changing uniforms? I want to see that. Anyway, welcoming the Sasaki's suggestion, those of us left behind in the dorms have come out to frolic in the snow. The twins are building a snowman, with Ichigo-san working on the head and Ringo on the body. Takasaki-san is completely absorbed in making multiple little snow rabbits. Yeah. Cute little rabbits. Meanwhile, I'm building my very first igloo together with Rika-san and some of our classmates. Yeah, I've never done that. How can you even... What? That's crazy. They gotta have plenty of snow.
立派なのができそう。これなら4人は中に入れるんじゃない？
And big enough to fit 4 people? Okay. Rika-san nods with childlike excitement, her cheeks flushed from the cold.
見事な鎌倉になりそうですね。こっちも負けてられないよ、リンゴ。もう少し大きく。
I think it's plenty big. Chill out.
リンゴをモデルにした雪だるま完成させなきゃ。
It's a Ringo snowman?
この雪だるまって私がモデルなのですか？
With their happy chatter behind me, I continue packing snow onto our structure.
裏の部分がまだ薄い。そこをもっと補強しないとダメだぞ。
Erika-san, who is in charge of planning the igloo, issues us instructions. Look at the little tired eye. The little tired eye? What? Whose little tired eye? Ah, you mean of the snowman? Okay. Of the snowman, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, in that sense, it does evoke Ringo-like impressions, Ringo-like aura. At first, she tried pestering Takasaki-san as she made her snow rabbits, but... Oh my gosh!
はあ、お前不器用だよな。バレエの才能の10分の1でもあればよかったの。
What are you talking about? They're gorgeous. They're so cute.
だから力入れすぎだって。雪うさぎはふわっとなっているのが可愛いんじゃんか。いいからエリカは黙ってて。私なりの最高傑作を作るんだから。
She was curtly sent away and instead joined our construction team.
しかし寒くなってきたな。そろそろ戻って熱いお汁粉でも飲もうぜ。あ、甘酒でもいいけどさ。まだダメよ。お汁粉と甘酒は この鎌倉が完成したら中で飲むの。そいつは風情がありそうだけどな。
I mean, there's 6 of you. I mean, I guess you could say 5 because probably Erika cannot go inside. Unless, you know, you place her gently somehow in there. But, like, you can't all be in the igloo and have the drinks. She looks conflicted. By way of saying leave it to me, I put my hand to my chest.
もちろんエリカさんも鎌倉へ招待するわ。私がお姫様抱っこをしてあげるから大丈夫よ。
Princess style.
前。まあ、お前がいいならいいけどさ。
Erika's cheeks are red from the long time we've spent out in the cold. I'd better hurry up and get this finished.
ねえスオさん、裏側の厚みはこんな感じでいいかしら。ちょっと待って。
I go around and inspect the back wall. It's plenty thick now, and all the gaps have been nicely filled in. Even if someone leans against it, it should hold.
厚みも十分だし、大丈夫だと思うわ。エリカさん、どう？ああ、問題ないんじゃないか。監督のお墨付きも出たことだし、あとはみんなで。うわ！なんで高崎さん、あんなに雪うさぎを作っているの？
She got carried away. Let her enjoy it.
私もその理由が聞きたい。うさぎさんたちに仲間を作ってあげようとしているのかしら。エリカさん、理由を聞いてきたら？嫌だ。サワラの神にたたりなしって言うだろうが。
Everyone laughs at her theatrical phrasing, reminiscent of Yatsushiro senpai. Okay.
りっちゃん、好きあり。ちょっと。いや。
Man, not to the face! And not so close to the glasses, come on. Rika-san squeals as she's pelted with snowballs by the twins who've finished their snowman.
アミティへのピンチだ。参戦してやれよ、白羽。私も雪合戦に参加していいのかしら。
She's asking for permission. She's so precious.
何上ずってんだ。ダチ同士なんだ。いいに決まってるだろ。
What did you do though? It was also a sneak attack.
どの口が言いやがる。
I aim for the protesting Ichigo-san and...
ごめんなさい。まさか顔に当たるなんて。
Completely silent, Ichigo-san wipes the snow from her face before slowly and deliberately rolling another snowball.
かわされた。スオちゃん、なかなかやるね。
Eyes blazing, Ichigo-san sets about producing a stockpile of snowballs.
リカさん、私たちも雪合戦しましょう。
I call out to my Amitia partner as she wipes the snow from her glasses and puts them back on.
二階屋の会の会長と副会長を怒らせた報いを受けさせましょう。
I know, it's hard to think of them as the president and vice president now. It's kind of like that spot is forever taken by Yuzu. And Nerine. Yeah, I don't know, it's weird. Although, if I think about it logically, I know that they are. It's just, yeah, I guess I haven't emotionally made that switch just yet. She chuckles.
楽しくなってきやがった。おい、千鳥、お前も来いよ。
She calls out merrily to her Amitia partner, who's still absorbed in making her snow bunnies. Aww, aww, aww. It even has a tiny one mole under the eye. Aww. Aww. How cute is that? I can't. Oh god. I love winter so much. This is like... just soothing, healing imagery for my soul. And what's up with the tiny one? Look at it, it's so tiny. What? Our giggles drift up through the crisp air, through the high winter sky. No, so cute. I'm on my way back to the dorms, enjoying the satisfying crunch of my footsteps and the soft winter twilight. I hear
楽しかったわね。
a familiar voice from behind me.
高崎さん、急に声をかけて驚かせてしまったわね。そんな風な顔をしていたものだから。声をかけてもらえて嬉しいわ。今日は本当に楽しかった。
One thing I really cannot take seriously is that their clothing is really not meant for this kind of weather. Like, okay, it can work in like late autumn or whatever, but not for snowy days and playing in the snow. Like, they would get cold really fast. Just dressed just like that. But okay, suspension of disbelief. I guess the term hasn't started, so they're still with the autumn uniforms. Fair enough. Yeah. No, but still, it's just, I've played in the snow as a kid, okay, multiple times. This is not enough. You're gonna get cold really fast. And especially if you have a snowball fight, those clothes are gonna get, they're gonna get wet and even colder. So, yeah. My first snowball fight with friends. Sorry, did I read this? No, I did. It's okay, it was a line from so.
そう、楽しめたならよかった。白羽さんはあまりみんなで騒ぐのが好きではないと思ったから。
Her voice is so quiet, I barely hear it, but I do. I let slip an uncertain noise and Takasaki-san's brow furrows.
エリカが前に言っていたのは、雪が降って嬉しいか嬉しくないかで大人か子供かがわかるって。
Aww. But what's wrong with enjoying the snow? It sounds like it's like a bad thing if you're a kid and you're just enjoying it. I nod, seeing what she means. Unlike a child, I suppose an adult would simply look at the snow and admire its beauty.
だから白羽さんは大人だからあまり楽しめないんじゃないかって。
Me? Mature?
そんなことないわ。みんなと雪遊びするなんて初めてですごく楽しかった。高崎さんはどうだったの？
Bless her, did she have to grow up to be in her teens before she got to play in the snow? That's sad. Aww. She blinks her beautiful almond eyes, her lips quirking up slightly.
私も子供みたいね。
Her smile is like a ray of sunshine, and I'm reminded with a painful intensity of Mayumi Tia who disappeared in the spring. Her shadow lingers deep within my heart, and now it reaches out to squeeze at it, making it hard to breathe. I remember the first time I saw Takasaki-san, and my chest constricts just like it did on that summer's day.
どうしたの？
Oh, excuse me. I shove down the feeling, as I do when I push back the nausea that sometimes threatens to overwhelm me. My self-defense mechanism works, clearing my heightened emotions like the north wind blowing away a bank of clouds.
泣いているの？違うわ。西日が目に刺しただけ。
The sun.
気を使わせてごめんなさい。そう。
The only sound in my ears is the crunch of snow under many feet, but the sound is now jarring. At the head of the group, Ichigo-san says something, and Rika-san pushing along Erika-san's wheelchair chides her.
ねえ。
I look up at Takasaki-san, who has been walking beside me in silence. The glare of the setting sun obscures her face.
何か思い悩んでいることあるわよね。それは理由を知りたいだとか打ち明けてほしいだとかではないの。ただ
She goes on, her gaze fixed on the backs of the girls ahead of us.
あなたを守ろうと心を砕いている人がいるということを知ってほしかったの。私を？
Aww. She gives a slight nod, her eyes on Ichigo-san.
雪遊びをしようって提案は佐々木さんたちが言ったことになっているけど、本当の発案者は花火師さんなの。リッカさんが？彼女 自分が提案したらあなたを思ってのことだと見抜かれて純粋に楽しめないと思ったんじゃないかしら。
Why?
白羽さんはエリカと同じで頭が切れるから。
Despite my harsh treatment of her, Rika-san was concerned about me.
言うつもりはなかったのだけど、でもなんていうか今のあなたには伝えた方がいいと思ったの。
Just like how Ichigo-san asked me to give Yatsushiro-san some encouragement when she had sunk into a depression.
友人だと気遣ってくれている。
The word friend now comes to me naturally. And what a wonderful feeling it is.
花火師さんの元へ行ってあげて。
The smile on her face still reminds me of my Amitia partner who disappeared with the spring. Hanasuo. Aww. Nice. Nice. It's very like bright and hopeful. But this time, that ray of sun brings a warmth to my chest. The days pass by slowly, like a river winding by so lazily. You have to strain your eyes to spot any movement. Warmed by my Mitia partner's kindness, I return to holding myself up in Iznik again, as I had before my brief diversion in the snow. In order to chase Mayuri's shadow, I have to solve the riddles that Yatsushiro-senpai told me about. The riddles of Shion Basket, there it is, and the Tulpa of Agape. However,
ちょっと、それは私のサンドイッチだよ。かのアーネスト・ヘミングウェイは言っています。善とは何か、後味のいいことだ。悪とは何か、後味の悪いことだ。と。
okay.
それが何だっていうの？
Yeah, I was about to say, what does that what does that imply?
かわいい妹に一つ多めにサンドイッチをあげ善行をし、後味のいい午後を過ごしたらどうでしょうかね。
At lunchtime, a pair of familiar voices filled the room with
喧
chatter.
嘩しないの。お行儀が悪いことをしたら怒りますからね。
Rika-san scolds them, a steaming cup of tea in her hand. Ichigo-san sticks her tongue out cheekily in response.
怒りますからね。って、もう怒ってるじゃんか。へえ、何かしら？なんでもないです。
She mutters something under her breath about righting wrongs.
意地悪する子には没収です。ああ、5章ですよ、りっちゃんさん。
Ringo-san protests as Rika-san hands the reclaimed sandwich back to Ichigo-san.
賑やかな昼食。
I'm still spending my days shut up on my own, but now...
さあ、スオさん。こっちはスオさんが好きなブリトーを作ってもらいましたからね。ありがとう、リッカさん。
Twice a day at lunchtime and at 3 p.m. tea time, Iznik comes to life like this.
どう？好きそうな食材を選んで作ってもらったのだけど。
Under her hopeful gaze, I bite into the hot burrito. My mouth is filled with strips of grilled chicken, corn salsa, and crisp lettuce. Look away, Bea, they're talking about food again. Rather than the Japanese takes on burritos I usually eat, this is the bean-filled style people from Latin America favor. The corn salsa gives it a distinctive, authentic taste.
おいしいわ。ありがとう、リッカさん。よかった。いつものばかりだと飽きるかと思って、今日は凝ったものにしてもらったの。いいなあ。私的にもそっちの方が良かったかも。私としてもそっちを奪えばよかったですかね。あら、もしかしてお行儀が悪いことを反省していないのかしら。
The twins shrink back exaggeratedly from Rika-san's gleaming glasses and bristling braids.
冗談だよ。ですです。スオちゃん、何か私たちへフォローの言葉をかけてほしいですよ。
I consider it for a moment.
明日は明日の風が吹くとか？後ろ向きな言葉。風とともに去りぬのスカーレット・オハラのセリフが台無しになってるじゃん。
How does that fit into the current situation? Rika has immaculate aura at this game. Yeah. When when her glasses turn like that, you know, things are serious. You better not mess with her. There's a murmur of admiration as people praise Ichigo-san's knowledge, and she puffs her chest out proudly.
明日は明日の風が吹くはヘミングウェイが言った格言でもあるのですよ。私が言った格言にかぶせてくるとは、処置仲間として見事としか言えませんな。
I still don't know how that has anything to do with the initial topic, but okay. Ringo-san nods admiringly at me. Rika-san no longer seems annoyed as she comes back with fresh tea for the twins.
今日はいつもよりも賑やかだわ。ごめんなさいね。私だけ来るつもりだったのだけど、いちごさんたちが一緒にって。それはそうですよ。こんな密室でりっちゃんとスオちゃんを二人きりにさせられないよ。
Okay.
私たちは映画ボディーガードの主人公フランク・ファーマーですよ。守られる歌姫はスオちゃんです。なんで私がタチの悪いストーカーみたいな扱いを受けているのよ。
She protests, braids bristling, but her expression has softened. She's just playing. Our lunchtime is filled with light-hearted chatter. For some reason, I find my mind drifting to back when I arrived at the academy in the spring.
こんな風に友達と昼食を共にできるなんて。
I like these conversations. Shifting topics and often nonsensical chats feel so real. Yeah. Yeah, it's cute. My dreams have come true. These moments are little bites of happiness. Aww, I like that. Little bites of happiness.
あら、もう食べたのね。それじゃ次はこのブリトーはどうかしら。
It may be winter outside, but in here the mood is as sunny as a spring day. Unhesitatingly, I lean forward to take a bite from the burrito in Rika-san's hand. Oh no.
スオさん？おいしいわ。スオちゃんもやりますね。焼けてしまいますな。あ、りっちゃん、こっち向いてよ。記念に撮ってあげるからさ。もうやめなさい。
Her cheeks are flushed. I realize that the intimate atmosphere has clouded my judgment. I let Rika-san feed me, or rather, I gave her no choice in the matter. Rika-san stops protesting the twins' comments and turns back to me. I take a sandwich from the basket.
食べさせて。いえ、勝手に食べてしまったから、リッカさんもどうぞ。
I can feel myself flushing right to the tips of my ears.
いいの？
Now that she's seeking affirmation, I feel the embarrassment flood over me. As I watch in silence, Rika-san brings her pale, glossy lips toward me. Is she going to be a love interest again? I don't think so. Or, I don't know, I don't feel anything like that coming from Suo. Maybe in like a bad route or something. Maybe, but I don't know. I don't feel like that would be the right direction for them, to be honest. But what do I know? We just started. I don't know anything about what's to come. She's my hate interest. Oh, yeah. You really can't forgive her for what she did in the spring episode, can you? Is that the thing that's still lingering with you? Now that she's doing the same thing, my shyness is eclipsed by deep sentiment. I haven't even been at this school that long, yet here I am engaged in another of those scenes I was so enamored with.
ありがとう。美味しかったわ。
Her face beat red. Rika-san thanks me with a smile that's so dazzling I have to look away.
いいなあ。私的にも食べさせてほしいよ。二階屋の会の会長から食べさせてもらうなんてレアですからね。
The two of them hold out their own basket of sandwiches, and I find myself paralyzed by a conflicting mix of embarrassment and the desire to do anything for my friends. She has an ending. Okay. I didn't look very deeply into the walkthrough because I don't want to spoil myself. I was just like, okay, which is the one that I should do first? Oh, this looks like it. Okay, that's what I'm doing. And after that, we figure it out. Yeah.
バカなことを言っていないで早く食べなさい。お昼休みが終わってしまうわよ。昼食を取りに行く時間は決まっているけど、何時までに食べるとか決まっていないから別。ゆっくり食べ過ぎると太るのよ。まあいちごさんは以前よりも痩せたように見えるからいいのかもしれないけど。
Okay.
カチーン。
Ah, it's alright. No worries. I didn't want to bother you. I wanted to, you know, be a strong, independent woman. Google it by myself. With a grave look on her face, Ichiko-san wags her finger and sternly tells Rika-san she can't say that.
前に雑誌で読んだけれど、女の子同士の痩せたねは戦いの始まりなんだよ。
What? Ha? Is this a cultural thing? Since when?
どうしてよ、褒めているじゃない。違うんだよ。痩せたねはこの前までは太ってたという意味なんだって。裏の意味合いなんだよ。
I played this on release. I had to dig deep into untranslated Japanese waters to find my guide. Oh gosh. That is true dedication. Implied meaning. I absolutely disagree with this. Oh, I'm sorry, Bea. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I don't see it that way, but okay. It just feels like a thing that if you want to interpret it as something negative, then you will and your mind will only see and understand that. But anyway. She crosses her arms in front of her chest and Rika-san and I nod admiringly. I suppose it's like one of those phrases that even when said with the best of intentions can be interpreted as an insult in other regions and cultures. Yeah, I mean, if you really want to see something negative in what the person is saying, but if you're trying to, like, you know, look a little bit past the words and try to see what their intentions are with what they're saying, come on. Don't assume the worst about people. That's kind of like,
女の子同士は難しいのですよ。
It doesn't have to be. Just, like, don't make assumptions like that. I can't help but smile at Ringo-san's earnest murmur.
でも、私が言ったのは言葉通りの意味よ。わかってるって。ただ、リンゴばかりトリビアを披露しては姉の保険に関わるからね。これで2度目。私的に勝ちじゃないかな。
Okay. She must be talking about the Hemingway quote, although I'm not sure it really counts as trivia.
いちごさんもそういった本を読むのね。前の学校の時の友達とよく回し読みをしていたからね。スオちゃんはその手の話題で知っていることある？
I'm about to admit that I have no clue, since I barely spoke to anyone before coming here. But instead I say...
そういえば、祖父が言っていたわ。女性と言わず、 男性も好きな相手には質問する。どうでもよい相手には
Oh
自
wow.
分の話しかしないって。
I guess so. Now that I think about it.
へえ、なんとなくわかるかも。確かに興味がある人にはたくさん質問しちゃうもんね。
I don't know. I mean, it's true. It's true that when you find someone interesting, it's very easy to ask a question and get lost, like, and to turn it maybe into an interrogatory. But I also feel like this is something that I would do in a setting where I'm like, I don't know, a bit overwhelmed, a bit shy. I don't really know the people there. So I would just ask them questions about themselves so that they would talk about themselves. And it would all be easier on me. Because I don't know, I'm quite adept at just listening at what other people are saying and catching on details and being like, oh, what about this thing? Actually, what you said is quite interesting. Well, can you give me more details about it and stuff like that? So then it kind of devolves, or like not devolves, but like it evolves from there. And I don't know. Maybe it's just me being the way I am. Does Rika have a right to chastise others for bad manners when her manners include blackmailing cuties into dating her? I don't think that is part of her manners necessarily. And I also don't think that the worst thing that someone has done is the most descriptive thing about them as a person. Because if we were all held up against the worst things we have done in life, then I don't know, you know? If you only knew that about me, you'd probably not like me very much, you know? But you know a lot more about me. I am much more than my worst mistakes. And that goes for other people as well, so that's kind of how I want to look at her. Rika was largely unpleasant in spring, repentant in summer, comic relief in autumn. It's here that she gets her time to shine. She was my most disliked until Hiver. Now she's maybe my 4th favorite, so give it to the end of the game at least. Okay. Yeah, no, I personally, I'm fine. I'm okay. I've gone past it, and especially since Suo is past it, then I don't really get to complain much because she was the one most affected. But seeing just how much she genuinely strives to be by Suo's side and help her, even to the point where she's kind of getting in her way. Without realizing it, of course, she has the best of intentions there. I can't help but feel positive things about her. I really don't feel like pointing a finger and holding her accountable constantly, like whenever I see her, to think about that bad thing that she did. When she's done so much more than that, and she as a human being is more than just that instance of her life, right? So I'm okay with letting that slide, but that's just me. It's how I generally take these things. I'm not saying that it should be a general thing or whatever, it's just me. So yeah, let's see what more there is to her, I suppose.
自分の話しかしない云々は女性に多そうですけどね。
We carry on chatting until as though our prior conversation had been gearing up to it. We're about to get onto the topic of relationships.
やだ、もうこんな時間だわ。
Rika-san lets out a surprised cry upon seeing that the hand on the wall clock is already approaching the end of our eating period.
いやー、話盛り上がっちゃったもんね。冷める料理じゃなくてよかったですよ。ここにエリカちゃんがいたら、沈黙はスパイスだぞ。黙って食え。とか言われましたよ。
Oh, the impression. Oh, it's so good. Everyone laughs at her impression. This happy dreamlike mealtime reminds me of a clear spring day.
それじゃあ、昼食も済んだし、これから。
Ichigo-san abruptly stops speaking, like she's just spotted something odd in the corner of the room, and flashes Ringo-san a look.
実はりっちゃんとスオちゃんにお願いがあるんだよね。
Hmm.
私たちに？ 実は今料理部の先輩からうさぎさんの世話を頼まれているんだよ。でもこれからちょっと約束があってさ。呆れた。それで私たちに頼もうっていうのね。おしゃべりしすぎて時間がなくなっちゃったんだよ。そうちゃんはいいよね。ええ、うさぎさんたちかわいいもの。やった、りちゃんもいいよね。
Rika-san looks sullen, but Ichigo-san goes over to talk into her ear.
何を話しているのかしら。女の子同士の秘密のお話ですよ。
Internally, I respond that I'd love to join in too, but then...
いや、でもそんなこと。
Rika-san raises her voice, her cheeks flushed. What? Are they blackmailing her with something? What's happening?
たまにはりっちゃんもいいことがないとね。でもりっちゃん映画のスタートレッカー見たことあるよね。少し前に視聴覚室で見たけれど。
Ichigo-san responds to her confusion by raising a hand in the famous Vulcan gesture.
あなたに長寿と繁栄を。
What the heck? There's a sprite for that? Jeez. She flashes an impish smile. Her tone is mischievous. What are they up?
さすがに日が暮れるのが早いわね。
Like, what are they doing? My meteor partner murmurs, looking up at the scarlet light shafting through the clouds.
そうね。
I say, equally as quiet. Sorry, my bad. As I follow her gaze. The sky is like a painting, startlingly radiantly beautiful in the brief moment when the sun lingers on the horizon. Rika-san lowers her eyes from the sky to my face and smiles.
スオさんも手伝ってくれてよかった。一人だったらとっぷりと日が暮れていたもの。最初に受けたのは私だわ。手伝ってくれてよかったというのは私の方よ。
We laugh, each thanking the other. The rabbits watch us curiously.
かわいいわ。リッカさんのお家では何か動物を飼っていたの？お兄様が喘息気味で動物の毛は大敵だったのよ。だからこうして触れ合えるのが嬉しいの。
Makes sense. When we talked in the spring, I didn't ask about her home life. But in this intimate atmosphere, the words just slipped out. Even though I know Rika-san has her own issues at home.
ごめんなさい。急に謝って変なスオさん。あ、もしかしてウサギさんを独り占めにしたことを言っているのね。
Bunny overload.
相変わらずスオさんは動物にモテるわよね。私はなぜか好かれないけど。
I'm relieved that she hasn't taken it as me prying into her private life. Although it makes my face burn with the effort, I decide to take a leaf out of Ringo-san's book and make doubly sure there are no hard feelings. Ooh.
エリカさんならこう言うわ。女ってのはなびかないやつにちょっかいをかけたがるんだよ。
How does that fit? What? Wait, what? It's breaking my brain.
スオさんがまねっこをするなんておかしい。
Ay, bear. While I'm relieved to have smoothed over the situation, my entire body is burning up with embarrassment. I can't believe I did an impression of Erika-san. Okay, impression aside, I don't understand what the quote was meant to say in this situation. Like, how does it apply?
ねえ、リカさん。エリカさんには黙っていてね。どうしようかしら。
My face pales, but she grins at me, telling me she's joking. How many times has that smile of hers saved me? As I gaze at her... Oh no. The abrupt cooling of my flushed body makes me sneeze, and my face heats up all over again.
お世話をして汗をかいてしまったものね。風邪をひかないように早く寄宿舎へ戻りましょう。
She offers me a pair of gloves. When she asks me what's wrong, I admit that I didn't bring any gloves with me. Ah. I love the sounds of their footsteps in the snow. I could just listen to this and fall asleep to it. It's so soothing. Whenever I'm thinking about something, I picture my mind as a cabinet filled with countless drawers. On each drawer is a label reading either resolved or unresolved. Of course, everything related to Mairi, Shion Basket, the Tulpa of Agape, and so on, is in one of the drawers labeled unresolved. And each new issue gets an unresolved label of its own before I stow it away in the depths of the drawer with the rest. But right now... Oh.
ごめんなさい。邪魔をしてしまって。
Interrupting, what? Oh, this is so cute. I am now understanding what's happening. They each have a glove, and so they're holding hands to keep those hands that they don't have a glove warm. That's cute. The words are woven into the air again. She's talking about interrupting my work in Iznik. I shake my head in response.
イズニックでの調べ物も大切だけれど、リッカさんとの二人の時間も大切だわ。スオさん、根を詰めすぎないように様子を見に来てくれているのでしょ。私を気遣ってくれている。
Sua's hair is so pretty too. The way they drew it in this one. It's so fluid. Very pretty. The only sound is the soft crunch of the snow beneath our boots. The silence is far from awkward though. It's a comfortable, intimate moment of quiet shared between Amitia partners.
いちごさんから言われたの。え？うさぎさんのお世話を代わるから、スオさんともっと仲良くなってきなさいって。
Oh, I see. So it was all premeditated. I get it.
あの時の内緒話。
Live long and prosper. A jokey reference, but also her own way of delivering words of encouragement. I see. Now it makes a little bit more sense.
最近、スオさんと二人きりであまりおしゃべりができていない気がして、いちごさんの提案に乗ってしまったの。
How cute of them! Abruptly, she tightens her grip on my hand. Rika-san's cute little fingers are warm in mine.
スオさんの邪魔をしてしまうって。
I feel as though I'm hearing the voice of my kind and earnest Amitia from across a great distance. Gazing at her profile, I feel my heart clench deep within my chest. Upon hearing that I'd forgotten my own gloves, my Amitia offers me hers. When I refused, she handed me just one, then took my bare hand in hers. She told me that, this way, neither of us would get cold.
邪魔なんかじゃない。スオさん、リッカさんをそんな風に思ったことなんてないわ。アミティアに使う時間が無駄なんてこと絶対にない。
I respond to her questioning gaze with a smile.
昔、祖父が言ってたわ。無駄っていうのは手に取って見えるくらいに確かなものだって。
You can't consider anything wasteful, unless it's actually something you can see and touch. Interesting. I think the reason why Rika's redemption works so well for me is that Rika clearly and wholeheartedly supports Sua's own romantic interests without forcing herself into it. Her presence must be so healing and supportive for Sue. I think that's what you meant. And the strength it takes to make the strength it takes to make that step without being bitter makes me respect her so much. Sorry, I'm so tired. My eyes get a little bit lost in the woods of text. Yeah, I see what you mean, Chidorin. I do feel that as well, and it's like it's been there throughout all of the other volumes, let's say, episodes, like through summer and autumn as well. She's been constantly there for her. I guess it's emphasized a little bit more now, but I felt it throughout all of this time. So, and I believe it. I don't doubt it for a second. So that's why I also feel like she has transitioned. She has moved past that thing that she did that we all disliked. I don't think anyone in their right mind would like that or would approve of that. But the whole point of the story is that the characters grow, right? So you make mistakes, you learn from them, and you can become a better person. And we should allow people to do that and give them grace for it. Because nobody really, or like, I don't know, nobody maybe is a strong statement. Maybe there are people who do that. But nobody who actually genuinely puts in an effort to better themselves should be reduced to their worst mistakes, right? Maybe there are some people who aren't more than that, who aren't above that, but I don't think Rika is one of them. So that's why I am, I guess, more lenient towards her. I've let her off the hook already. Like, I've already had the time to, I don't know, settle my feelings towards her, and I've landed in this place at this moment, so I'm okay. Yeah, I see what you mean.
使うあてがなく買ってしまった辞書みたいなものだって。
I squeeze her hand back, hoping to convey my feelings through touch.
なんだかエリカさんみたい。そうね。
Suddenly realizing just how much my bookworm buddy and my grandfather resemble one another, I let out a soft laugh, which draws one from Rika-san too.
未決にしていた引き出し。
Although it's hardly a laudable act on my part, for the time being I'm setting them aside and taking a break.
部屋に戻ったら紅茶を入れてくれる？とっておきの茶葉をご馳走するわ。
I tell myself that it's okay to set them to one side, just for a little while. And I carefully stow this happy memory of being hand in hand with my Amitia partner away in a drawer of his own, so as to always retain its warmth. Aww. Aww. That's cute. Erika, shut up! Oh god, spicy salami. Erika declares, picking up a post-lunch slice of salami. She adds after taking a sip of tea, is there ever an instance that she is being served tea in their room and she says, and she doesn't say sorry, coffee would go better? Because I feel like she does that every time. Is that on purpose? Oh, I'm not peer pressuring you, Bea. Please don't take it that way. I was just explaining how I feel about her right now and kind of how I got there. But there's no pressure for you to feel the same. I respect that you feel the way you feel. That's alright. It's no worries. Oh, Chidori. Fat pets. Right, she adds after taking a sip of tea. Since I've been taking most of my lunchtime meals in Iznik, I've been eating simple things that I can take with me and that won't go cold. Which is why when Rika-san invited me to eat in the cafeteria, I was enticed by the idea of a steaming hot cooked lunch. Following that, tea time, of course.
コーヒーが好きだなんて言う人には紅茶のおかわりをついであげないわよ。
Like, you are a guest and your host is making tea and you're like, coffee would have worked better. Okay, then you get no tea. Like, what do we want?
おい、聞いたか千鳥。二階への会の副会長様が権力を傘に来て横暴な振る舞いをしだしたぞ。
But Takasaki-san and I smile at her joke. We ended up here. After lunch, I was ushered back to our room by my amitié, with the promise that she'd treat me to some special tea. Then Erika-san and Takasaki-san turned up with suspiciously good timing. Calling her guard dog on her.
私はどちらかというと紅茶派だわ。
Ah, there it is. You're alone, Erika. I'm sorry.
高崎さんはいい人だわ。どうぞ。
Brows furrowed. Erika-san glow. Sorry. What is that word? Glowers at them? As Erika-san pours her a fresh cup.
我らコーヒー島から裏切り者が出たぞ。白羽なんとか言ってや
A
れ。
defector from the coffee faction? Now she turns to her other guard dog, Suo. She declares.
え、スオさん、コーヒーの方が好きだったの？それは。
I like both, but I can't exactly say that here. Drinking from my own teacup, I offer a smile.
もちろん紅茶派よ。そうよね。これで3対1よ。民主主義の名のもとに被告八重垣エリカは断罪されます。
We all then laugh at her cry of "Et tu, brute." Enjoying an after-lunch tea party together with my friends like this, I feel as though the version of me that arrived at the academy was a totally different person.
お茶会のお菓子はサラミだけどね。
Well, now you've developed a taste for the finer things in life. Spicy salami is one of them.
初めて食べたけれど案外美味しいわ。後を引く味ね。
After savoring her first bites of salami, Takasaki-san turns to me.
ブルータスといえば最近ローマ市の映画を見たのだけれど、白羽さんおすすめの歴史ものの映画ってあるかしら？ローマ市ならそうね、グラディエーターとかベンハーとか面白かったけれど。
Oh yeah, Gladiators is really good. I haven't seen the other one.
へえ、何？意外ね。白羽さんはアクション寄りでなくて、もっと世界史を勉強できるものを選ぶと思っていたわ。白羽は意外と暴力描写のある作品が好きだよな。なんて言ったってクリント・イーストウッド好きだし。
I can't let that go.
イーストウッドはダーティーハリーのようなアクションだけじゃないわ。マディソン軍の橋のような切ない役も演じ、監督もしているし。白羽さんらしいチョイスね。でも一番好きなのはダーティーファイターだって言っていただろ？
Oh, sorry.
それってあのお猿さんが相棒の？
I don't know Clint Eastwood movies, so all of this is like, I'm just taking it at face value.
私の薫陶が生きてきたな。白羽はその猿が好きなんだってよ。
A monkey, okay.
クライドよ。は？相棒の名前よ。それに猿じゃなくてオランウータン。
Okay, corrections. Laughter fills the room again, although none of it is mine.
そういえば猿で思い出したのだけれど、オランウータン。ごめんなさい。猿夢って怪談知っている？都市伝説ですよね。確か夢を見るたびにどんどん死に近づいていくっていう。知っているの？せっかく聞いたから教えようと思ったのに。
I apologize to the deflated Takasaki-san for stealing her thunder, but she brushes it off and takes a sip of tea.
ちょいと前に夢見が悪くてその話をしたんだよ。それでまた怪談好きが再燃したってわけ。
Revived her interest. I skipped this part, sorry. Rika-san looks relieved. Yeah, because she probably doesn't want to know. So that works better for her.
そうなの。ねえ、白羽さんは何か怖い話を持ってないかしら？花火師さんでもよいけれど。私がそんなお話するわけないでしょ。ごめんなさい。慣れ慣れしかったかしら。そうじゃなくて。
She casts a beseeching gaze from me to Erika-san.
祖父の話は本格的すぎるし。
I hesitate remembering how Rika-san hadn't been able to sleep after I shared that story with her.
しょうがないな。それじゃあ私は一つ披露してやろうか。
Oh god, why? Erika-san chimes in, a feline smile curling across her features.
エリカさんが？ああ、委員長にすがられたら断るわけにはいかないからな。
Aye. Rika-san, who'd been looking to her for a different kind of help, doesn't argue, her expression defeated.
時期外れだが、冬の階段もおつなもんだ。一つ、次女から聞いた話を披露してやるとしよう。それって、剣道をやっているっていうお姉さん？
Bingo, she tells me, picking up her cup and adding that this is something that happened while her eldest sister was away at summer camp. No, sorry.
それって、前に合宿から帰ってきたお姉さんへ、意種返しに聞かせたっていう？
She nods. Erika-san must have shared the story with her already.
一番上の姉が夏休み合宿で出かけている間、私は姉の介助をしていた。ん？逆じゃなく？お、言うようになったじゃないか。
Although Erika-san apologizes for her reflexive comment, Erika-san tells her she's not bothered and sips on her tea.
次女が夏休みに入る前、剣道の稽古中に左手の指を疲労骨折してしまったんだ。ご両親は？どちらも仕事の虫でね。まあこの話には関係ない。次女が病院通いしたってところがミソでね。自宅からほど近い大学病院へ通院していたんだ。その大学病院はちょうど改装工事をしていて、病室の塔に足場を組んでいたそうだ。姉は入院していてろくに外も眺められないのかと同情したそうだよ。入院中は外を眺めるのが楽しみだものね。私たち的にはそこに本が入るが、脱線しちまったな。通院しているとそこの大学病院に知り合いの顔を見つけた。看護師長だ。近所に住むおばさんで、次女は朝通学するときに挨拶していたから見知っていたんだな。病院で行き合うとよく話をしていたそうだよ。長女さんといい、エリカと違って愛想がいいのね。ほっとけ。次女は年上には好かれるんだよ、昔から。姉は病院へ通う際に見るともなく工事している塔を眺めた。そこでおかしなことに気づいた。幽霊を見たとか？そうじゃない。ある部屋のベランダから赤い紐がだらりと下がっていたんだよ。紐くらい工事をしているんだからあるんじゃないの？普通工事現場の紐、ロープといえば黄色と黒のトラロープだろ。赤いロープなんて見たことがなかったから目についたって話していたよ。
I wouldn't know that much about construction, to be honest, but okay.
そうね。言われてみればそうかも。それに他の場所ではトラロープが普通に使われていたんだ。だけどその部屋のベランダにだけ赤い紐が。通院するたび見かけたそうだよ。
She lets out a breath, her gaze fixed on her feet as though searching back through her memories. The pause is pregnant.
週に2度治療と経過を見てもらいに行っていた。その度に足場を組んだ塔のとあるベランダから赤い紐が垂れているのを目にした。
Ominous.
そして5度目高にたまたま会った看護師長にその話をした。するといつも穏やかだった彼女の顔がさっと変わったそうだ。表情が消えたんだな。診察を終えた帰り道、ベランダを見やると赤い紐はなくなっていた。きっと看護師長が工事現場の人に話を通したんだろうと思ったそうだよ。
She wets her lips, looking around at each of us in turn.
後日、診察を受けに大学病院へ向かった。と、何の気なしに向けた視線の先には、ベランダにまた赤い紐が垂れ下がっていた。何かいたずらのように感じるわね。姉もそう思ったそうだよ。看護師長が対処してもらったのに、 また赤い紐が下がっていたんだからな。いたずらをされているその部屋の住人に興味が湧いたそうなんだ。一度回収されてもまたされるくらいの人物だ。どんなやつだろうってね。悪趣味ね。変わり者なのは八重垣家の豪病でね。診察を終えてから工事現場のある病棟へ向かった。工事しているってのにずいぶん静かだったそうだ。
Oh god, where is this going?
奇妙に静かな長い廊下を抜け、赤い紐がかかっていた病室へとたどり着いた。そして部屋のドアをノックした。いや、今更ながらどうしたものかって困ったのさ。好奇心から来ちまったが面識もない。ベランダの赤い紐ですが、なんて切り出すのも妙だ。さてどうしたものか。
Erika-san reaches a hand out theatrically while at the same time opening the door behind her with her other hand. Erika-san glares daggers at her and she dips her head in apology. Oh god.
個室の病室から初老の男性が出てきた。姉を見下ろしながら横柄な口調で追っ払われたそうだ。その態度からそりゃいたずらもされるよな。ただのたちの悪いいたずらの話じゃない。姉もそう思った。だからその後の通院でも管の病室のベランダに赤い紐があっても特に気にしなくなっていた。看護師長へ赤い紐の話をしたのはちょいとしたつなぎの話題だった。だが話を聞いた看護師長は姉の腕を取り、人気がない場所へと無理やり連れて行った。そして病室へ行ってはいないかと尋ねた。正直に話したの？いや、姉は空とぼけて、ただ一旦は消えたのにまた紐が下がっているから気になっただけだと答えた。
Interesting how Chidori technically knows the story, right? But she's the one intervening with questions to kind of like move it along. Teamwork. Cute.
すると看護師長は長いため息を吐いて、誰にも話さないことを誓わせた上で、あの赤い紐はある種のまじないだと告げたんだ。
Okay.
まじない？その土地特有のまじないだそうだよ。看護師長の家は曽祖母が拝み屋のようなことをやっていたから知っていたそうなんだ。
Yeah, she is.
赤い紐はその呪いに必要な一つ。その言い方だと、ああ、まじないを成就させるためには赤い紐と呪う対象の部屋へある種の植物を置く。そしてその2つを長く置けば置くほど。そんな迷信よ。眉唾な話じゃない。姉も面白い話だとは思ったが、委員長のように迷信だろうと考えた。そしてあの横柄な態度を思い出して特進したそうだ。
Erika-san lowers her voice.
看護師長はもう一度部屋に行ってないかを尋ねた。もしかして部屋に行ってしまったら呪われるとか。
Erika-san shakes her head.
看護師長はあんなものを間近で見るのは気分のいいものではないからと告げた。そして何度も何度も消しているのに。
Something strikes me as odd about those words. Wiped it away? Wiped it? Is it not thread but like blood or something? Oh my god.
確かに見たくはないわね。ただの紐でもそんなことを知ったら。ちょっと待って、決して捨てているのに。
At my question, Erika-san grins slyly, cottoning on to the meaning behind what I've asked. Takasaki-san and Erika-san fixed their gazes on the tale teller.
そう、看護師長は決してと言ったんだ。姉は白羽のように聞き返した。あなたが何度も見たという赤い紐、遠目からだと紐のように見えたのだろうけど、血なのよ。 赤い紐なんてなかった。ああ、まじないは部屋に植物とある方角の窓から自分の血を滴らせて成就する。
Well, that
姉
is
はその
creepy.
話を聞き、背筋が凍ったそうだ。
Who wouldn't be creeped out by that? Although Erika-san tries to sound brave, her voice comes out in a frail whisper. But Erika-san tells her it wasn't what she was thinking before continuing on.
姉は通院するたびに赤い紐、血を見ていたんだが、看護師長も気づき、その度に消していたらしい。それって。そう、姉が凍りついたのは何度も何度も自分の血を使いまくほどの深い恨みの方だった。消されても消されてもやめない執念の方が空恐ろしかった。
The end. Erika-san's final words fall heavily into the tense room, quiet except for an occasional gust of wind that echoes eerily.
幽霊は出てこなかったけれど、これはこれで興味深い話ね。興味深いって、こんな怖い話聞かされて、今日はもう。今日は
Erika-san flushes and turns her beseeching gaze on me.
こんなに怖い話なら、私が話せばよかったかしら。
Mine is a story about the butterfly I once told to Komikado-senpai. Maybe it would have been a better choice.
さて。
As I'm feeling slightly regretful, Erika-san turns to me with an incongruously cheerful smile.
次の語り手のお話を聞こうか。
She declares. Okay. Okay, yeah. Now that the story is over, and wow, that took a while for like something that doesn't even have a definitive ending or anything. Just give me a second, I'll take a quick toilet break, yeah? I'll be back in a couple minutes. Alrighty, here we are. So, cool, crisp winter air and the gentle glow of sunset. This should be my favorite kind of scenting. Yeah, I approve of that.
なんだか不吉に見えてくるわ。
I mean, after that story moment, I guess so. The familiar facade of the dormitory building seems portentous. Like something from the opening of a horror movie.
冬の間だけ別荘に泊まりに来るカップル。
Murmuring, I introduced the most fitting scenario from among all the many horror movies I've watched. Our ghost story session, the fuse for which was offered by Takasaki-san and lit by Erika-san, took up more of my time than anticipated. At this time of year, dusk slips quickly into darkness. Oh yeah. Staying in the dorms would be more comfortable, but...
イズニクにカバンを取りに戻らないと。
I left my things there, thinking I'd be back to continue my research, and I don't want to leave them there overnight. With the ghost stories from earlier still running through my mind, I rub my arms to fend off the chill as I hurry toward the school building. But then something stops me in my tracks.
バスキア教諭?
I spot a figure I haven't seen at all during the winter vacation, and she in turn brings to mind another name.
シオン・バスキア。
Suddenly, the idea of simply asking Sister Basket outright about this Shion Basket strikes me. After all, they share a surname, why not just ask her? However, another part of my brain pipes up that would be absurd. Bringing up the topic would be one thing, but if she simply feigned innocence and said she had no idea what I was talking about, that would be the end of the matter. Yeah, that would be the end of the matter, and then you would no longer have this question. Just go ask. I don't think she would mind. If I were to broach the subject of Shion Basket, it would have to be after creating a situation in which she would have no choice but to acknowledge it. Oh god. Okay, so we're in the business of forcing it out of Sister Basket. Okay. This is the winter Seoul we're talking about. This is no longer spring Seoul. Jeez. Each argument has its pros and cons. And so In the distance, Sister Basket's figure vanishes from sight. Before I know what I'm doing, I find myself following her. Oh no. Oh no. Sister Basket passes through the gardens. But rather than heading for the chapel, as I'd predicted, she heads towards the greenhouse.
バスキア教諭。
I follow her until she enters the greenhouse, but because of the distance I've kept, I lose sight of her. Doing my best to silence my footsteps, I search the inside of the greenhouse, dyed red in the light of the setting sun, but...
見つからないわ。まるで消えてしまったよ。
The words remind me of the Academy's 7 mysteries, the phenomena that spirit away those who encounter them. A shiver runs down my spine, as I also recall the ghost stories we've just been recounting. Just then, a noise makes me freeze in surprise. The sound of my own footsteps. I was half expecting either Sister Basket or one of the creatures from the 7 mysteries to appear from between the plants, but instead...
この花は
Ah, okay. It's the one that the Academy is named after. Spotting the flower after which the Academy was named, I find myself transfixed by its petals. The white flower has a peculiar shape, like a star. It suddenly occurs to me that I've never actually encountered one before, despite it being the Academy's namesake. Surely, it would be fitting to study and nurture such a plant in our gardening classes. Plus,
学院にとって重要な花だからこそ生徒ではなく
voicing my thoughts aloud stimulates another idea. Perhaps this Angrecum is being cared for by someone on the faculty, by Sister Basket. Perhaps this is what brought her to the greenhouses today. That would make sense, but...
アングレカムの花言葉祈り
Such a noble meaning, and yet for some reason it doesn't sit right with me. Oh god, no, what's happening? God's in his heaven, all's right in the world with the world. Okay. Suddenly, a phrase comes to mind. It's from a verse by Robert Browning. An impactful line, it's been repeated in many a movie and novel. It's particularly famous for being the last line in Anne of Green Gables. But it originally comes from the verse drama Pipa Passes? Okay, I've never heard of it. by English poet Robert Browning. The last two lines of the poem resonated so deeply with people that they've ended up being referenced in all kinds of media. And the reason that phrase came to me now. I finally finished reading through all the faculty registers from the past, right up to the present day. I've gone through all of them, but I was searching for a clue to the elusive Shion basket, so the realization that there's no such name on record has me quite discouraged. While the confirmation that there is no record of them is in itself a result of sorts, I was thinking that perhaps Sister Basket acquired her position at the academy via a personal connection. This thought stemmed from something she once told me, that she had been brought up at the academy. Those words had led me to believe that perhaps she had been a student at the academy herself. However, knowing how pure she was, it occurred to me that perhaps she arrived at the academy earlier than I thought. That perhaps she spent most of her formative years here. That was my original thought process. However, standing up from my chair, I go gaze out the window. Of course, I don't really see the scenery outside. My mind's eye is focused only on the almanacs I was entrusted with by Yatsushiro-senpai. Something doesn't feel right about the fact that the name wasn't there. An esteemed teacher may be honored with a statue of some sort, but would they really be buried on school grounds at the old chapel? Could he have died without any living relatives and written his desire to be laid to rest here into his will? If there was a faculty member to whom the academy meant so much that they wished to be buried here, then surely their name would appear in the ledger, even if Shion Basket was a man here in this all-women's school. I feel like it would be natural for such a figure to linger not only in the physical records, but in people's memories. The questions just weren't adding up. Shaking my head, I finally focused on the snow-covered landscape outside. Its cool whiteness cleansed my eyes and my mind. Murmuring to myself, I ran through some of my favorite novels, thinking about who would be the most suitable detective for the job. Just as I did with the incident back in the spring. Fancying myself a detective, I thought hard about what the detective from my favorite book would do. And the conclusion I came to was... Deciding to return to the origin of it all, I bring myself back to the old chapel. I haven't returned since that day when I found Shion Basket's name on the headstone. I inspect the area just as I did the first time, but there are no new discoveries to be found around the building. I'm simply reaffirmed in my belief that it was burned down. A closer inspection only reveals it to be slightly smaller than the Academy's current chapel, but with similar brickwork. Since I don't have any special tools on hand, there's not much more I can do. Giving up on my survey of the ruined chapel, I head for the gravestone. Exhumation time, oh no! It's hidden by a grove of red-berried elder trees, a variety that doesn't grow in the surrounding forests. No, not hidden. Protected. His grave, as I've come to think of it. The cross-shaped headstone stands quietly beneath its mantle of snow, the same as the day I found it. Standing before his grave, I attempt to resolve my burning questions one at a time. First, why was Shion Basket interred at the academy? I can't expect to come up with anything more definitive than I did in Iznik. The next question that rises to the forefront of my mind is, why was he buried here, specifically?
今は旧聖丼に関わりのあった神父様だと仮定しよう。彼が祈ったこの場に葬る。なら納得できる理由。
However, the logic-loving detective residing within my brain quickly cross-examines that train of thought.
葬ったのは学院のものだ。なら掃除をしたり、お墓参りに来やすいよう、学院の敷地内に埋葬するのが合理的ではないかしら。
Looking at the headstone before me, beneath the cover of snow, I can see that it's clean and moss-free, indicating that someone has been tending to it. Which means... Lost in thought, my gaze falls to the pedestal on which the epitaph is carved. That's when I notice a pure white petal, almost indistinguishable against the pale snow. As though drawn forward by a sense of premonition, I stoop down to brush away the snow, revealing the flower placed upon the plinth. It's an angrecum. Let me guess. Yes. Of course. Someone brought flowers. The Academy's namesake flower. The flower I saw in the greenhouse when I followed Sister Basket.
初めに思ったように、養父であるならば何もおかしくはないわ。
Even as I think this, my father's words come back to me. People tend to place that which they don't want to deal with or think about, far away, out of sight and out of mind. And when they are forced to let go of something important to them, they choose that which is far from their own heart and mind. He declared that there were no exceptions to these rules. What on earth had we been talking about that prompted him to say that? No, that was a distraction. I was trying to put off coming to a conclusion.
痛くないものから目を背けている。
The two signs that Yatsushiro-senpai gave me both seemed to be pointing toward one person.
バスキア教諭。
I've been looking anywhere and everywhere but at her. I cycle back to a thought that has occurred to me time and time again. What if I simply asked her directly about Shion Basket? However,
シオン・バスキアの名をダリア先生に告げてはいけない気がする。
it's instinct rather than logic that tells me as much. Still feeling somewhat unmoored, I stare intently at the name carved into the stone. I start to daydream, just like I do when working in the library. I think back on the flower I found yesterday when I went back to visit Shion Basket's grave.
アングレカムの花。
In the language of flowers, it means prayer. I know nothing about Shion Basket other than his name, yet it seems to me a perfectly fitting flower to place at his grave. Then...
花を備えたのはバスキア教諭。
While it's still only conjecture, after finding the same flower in the greenhouse after she disappeared from sight, I'm sure it's her who's tending to it.
確証はないけれど。
Still, it's not a conclusion arrived at via intuition, but a conjecture based on the circumstances.
スオさん。バスキア教諭に直接シオン・バスキアのことを尋ねてみるのは。スオさん？
This time it's intuition that brings me my answer. She won't tell me anything. Telling me about Shion Basket would mean revealing her secrets.
スオさん、調子が悪いの？
The sudden sensation of a hand on my shoulder brings me back to my senses, and I look up into my Amithia's concerned face.
何かしら？何度も呼びかけたけれど、返事がなかったから気分が優れないのかって。大丈夫？平気よ。ただぼーっとしていたの。あまりに人が来ないから。そう。
I glance around the deserted library to prove my point, but she's still regarding me with suspicion.
リッカさんに気取られるわけにはいかない。確かに全然利用者がいないわね。冬休みの間も図書委員のお仕事しなくてはいけないの？レファレンスのようなことはしないけれど、貸し出しは行っているの。お休みの間はカードを机の上の底の箱に入れてもらって。
And write down the books they're borrowing in this notebook, I finish.
それだったら
I finish. I finish. I write down the books they're borrowing in this notebook, I finish.
それだったらスオさんが来ることはないんじゃないの？ずっと借りたままの生徒がいるかもしれないから。
I set the notebook and the cards side by side.
このカードと貸し出した日付がわかるノートを見比べて超過していた場合は返却をお願いしに行くのよ。
While Rika-san voices her understanding, she still doesn't look entirely satisfied by my explanation. She looks between me and the box on the desk. Then, as though searching my face for a sign, she questions me.
あのね、もしかして何か悩んでいることがあるんじゃないって思う。何を？私にはその何かを思いつかないけれど、大切なことを隠しているって。
Her earnest gaze bores into me.
話してもいいかもしれない。
Yeah, maybe you should. I think for a split second, but then...
悩みなんてないわ。
I mean, at some point she's gonna have to rely on someone. I don't think it's gonna take a real toll on her to do this on her own. But yeah, maybe we're not at that point just yet.
本当よ。ただぼーっとしていただけ。お腹が空きすぎちゃっていたからかもしれないわ。
I force a smile to my face, and the tension finally eases with Rika-san's, well, if you say so.
ここへ来たのもお昼を誘いに来たのよ。お仕事は中断して食べに行きましょう。
With a cheerful smile, she takes my hand in hers. Her hand is warm, but even as I sense her kindness through her gentle touch, I'm thinking back on the chilliness I felt that day. That night when, despite sweating in the warm air under my raincoat, I was frozen solid at the core.
もう一度、かの夜に立ち返られなくてはならない。
I hold very strongly to that belief. Even as I smile at my Amitia partner, my mind is back in that midsummer night. The best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them. That's cool. As the cold wind chills my face and the snow crunches beneath my feet, I think of Hemingway's words.
私は傲慢だわ。
I came to the doors of the academy seeking friendship, yet here I am deceiving the very friends I found. The best friends a girl could ask for, friends who care for me, who would do anything for me.
私が最も嫌いなものに自分から進んでなっている。
I trudge along the snowy moonlit path, my mind caught in a turmoil of contradictions. Conflicting emotions burn within me as I make my way toward my destination. In searching for the clues that might lead me to my missing amitié, I have become a spectre. I'm in the classroom where Sister Basket once claimed she had been attacked by the hookman. A lie. At the time, I'd carefully examined the room for clues. However, I was unable to unearth any new discoveries. Back then, I went over the room with a fine-tooth comb. But now, armed with the key given to me by Yatsushiro-senpai, I figure I might be able to find something new by approaching it from a different angle.
何も得るものがなかった。
In the end, I'm unable to discover anything in the room. Even so, with my heart aflame like this, I don't feel I can simply go back to the dormitory where my Amitia partner awaits. Which is why I'm now standing here in the darkened art room, my mind still in turmoil. This is the space I had once been desperate to enter in order to dig into my Amitia's past. Now, as president of the Council of Nicaea, the clubroom keys are in my charge, and I can slip in without any issue. Glancing at the clock on the wall to make sure it's not time for the staff to patrol, I walk over to where the paintings were stacked in a corner awaiting disposal.
もう置いていないわよね。
The paintings have already been disposed of. All of them are gone except for the paintings I'm holding on to, the paintings with the message. Mairi's paintings. A series of works depicting the Holy Family. I recall how my heart pounded when I first came across them, and how I felt when I found the message she'd left for me.
彼女は助けを求めている。
That was my first instinct. I felt that she was reaching out to me. As I appreciate her study of the Virgin Mary, I think of her. Smart, sweet, and kind. Brimming with vitality. Her slender frame hummed with energy. She wasn't the most expressive girl, so each genuine smile from her was like a miracle. It brightened the very air around you. We found one another in the darkened library, lit only by the silvery moon. On that night we came together, I was sure we both felt like we'd never be parted. And yet, Mayuri disappeared without a word. I'm suddenly reminded of Mozart's The Magic Flute. A prince and a princess join hands to overcome trials of fire and water in a journey of love, justice, and mutual understanding. I was once alone, and in her I found someone I could entrust myself to. Then I abruptly lost her, and now I seek her again, like the protagonist in so many a cliché tale. That's why I thought of the magic flute. A sudden noise freezes me to the spot. My senses tell me it was a sound made by a person. I feel a presence behind the noise. Panic time. My heart is in my throat. My whisper echoes through the deserted art room with startling volume. Then, I call out into the art room. No, they're not here. They're out in the corridor or the prep room, or perhaps in the empty adjacent classroom. Either way, I sense the presence of a sentient being other than myself. It's the kind of insight that only comes when my senses are sharpened to a pinpoint. My words permeate the empty space. What's brought back to me in their place is a sense of agitation. A shared mood that could only be experienced here in this place in the dark of the night. I choose my words carefully. Anxiety has dried my throat. Because she, is close enough to hear me, but depending on what I say, she could be gone again in an instant. What are we doing? I don't understand. I tell her about the grave and its epitaph, and then... I speak under the supposition that the person lurking here is Sister Basket. My words dissolve into silence. My question hangs in the air, yet I feel that the other person is still there, stuck for an answer. Wrapped in the close, intimate shroud of darkness, I wait for her, to speak. Then... Doesn't that sound like Rika? Someone somewhere in the darkness says my name. Could they tell it was me from my voice? Then is the hidden person Dahlia Basket as I supposed, or could it be someone else who knows me well? My brain begins to speculate at top speed, but... The way her voice said sur, I recognized it. Could it be... No, the discordant feeling that that's simply the interpretation I want to be true rears up at me like a wave, then quickly dissipates. But... Okay. My beloved. There's no way I'd mistake the voice of the girl I love. My voice quavers. The cold is gone. The dark has vanished. Sweat blooms on my brow. My feet aren't on solid ground. I feel as though I'm floating. I really think this is Rika's voice, but... Okay. Again, I hear Mayuri's voice. The girl I've been searching for. Mairi Kosaka's voice reaches my ears from beyond the single wall between us. At the sound of it, the tension releases from my body and my feet come back down to earth as a euphoric joy washes over me.
マユリ、本当にあなたなのね。よかった。消えてひどいことをされているのだと思って。なぜ黙って消えてしまったの？何かお家の事情が、何か口にできない理由があったのでしょ？私、あなたのことをずっと探していたのよ。あなたを求めて二階屋の会の会長にまでなった。内気で引っ込み思案な私が今二階屋の会の会長をしているの。リッカさんは副会長になって
Sorry, I skipped that a bit too fast. I continue talking to the wall. While no response comes, I sense that she's still there on the other side, listening. Euphoria buoys me up, knowing that Mairi is hearing my voice. Okay. My ears catch her faint whisper and I pause, waiting for her to go on. Okay, now it does sound more like Mairi's voice. But why the heck are they talking through a wall? I'm so confused.
私、何か気に障ることを言って。ありがとう。
Her gratitude is a non sequitur.
遠く離れていても、君の幸せを祈っているよ。
These smooth words tell me that she has no intention of coming back. Her presence gradually fades along with the intimate atmosphere. The person I love is moving away from me. As much as I long to chase after her, my feet won't obey. After hearing her voice, my body won't listen to me. For the sunny Mairi Kosaka I knew has become a completely different person. Okay.
忘れない。
When I finally force out the words, my voice is hoarse as an old woman's. I grip my chest tightly, holding my frozen heart.
必ずマユリを迎えに行くから。
Oh, okay. Her presence has gone. I'm simply shouting into the void she left behind. I hear the song of a night bird, an ominous warbling that crushes all emotion. When I realize it's the sound of my own weeping, the cold and the silence rush back in and the world returns to normal. You are unloved. Suo Shirahane remembers the person who always said that to her. Painstakingly, deliberately, they crushed her heart to pieces, until her father noticed something was wrong.
だから言ったでしょ。
Ay, ay, ay.
欠陥品が愛されることはないって。
Ugh. Directly into Suo Shirahane's ear, in a tone more intimate than Mairi's, more intimate than anyone's. Her stepmother whispered to her. Oh gosh. Oh, that's so
夏目漱石
heartbreaking.
全集に甲府という作品がある。とある青年が不実さゆえ三角関係となり、やはり不実さゆえすべてを捨て家を飛び出す。行くあてもなくさまよい歩いていると声をかけられ、言葉巧みに炭鉱へ連れて行かれるという筋だ。炭鉱の町でさまざまな人たちと出会い、販売の仕事をこなし、5ヶ月もの時を過ごす。そしてこのお話は青年が家に戻った際に揺さぶられ、目を覚ました夢のように唐突に終わってしまう。今や伝聞でしか知り得ない鉱山町や行動でのやり取りなど緻密に描かれ、面白さを感じたけれど、私の好きなあの人は青年が成長しないことに 恐怖と安堵を覚えたと言った。住む町を変え、仕事を変え、人と会い、労苦に耐える。しかし青年の考え方はまるで変わることはなかったのだと。始まりと終わりで変わることのない自分。変化は良いこととして語られることが多いけれど、変わらないことにも努力が必要であることを私は学院で知ることになる。これから始まる物語は、変わらぬ思いを標本にして閉じ込めた愚かな少女のお話。
The minor. Okay. I'd say since that was the end of a chapter and beginning of a new one, maybe it's a good spot to leave it. Yeah? Would that be alright? Bit of a shorter stream tonight, but I think that works well for me. Yeah? Thank you so much for understanding. Let's make a save. There we go. Sleep. Thank you so much for being here tonight. It's always a joy to share this with you. I'm really sorry that what I have to offer lately isn't that great and that I'm very, I guess, worn out by the end of the day. I don't know. I've been trying to rest really well on the days that I don't stream and so on, but I guess there's some tiredness that I have to overcome that really has caught up with me and it's not leaving me. Maybe next week will help because I have 3 days off in the beginning of the week and I'm gonna go see my parents over the weekend. So a change of scenery and just relaxing and chilling with the people that I love, hopefully we'll make that a little bit better. Yeah, and I'll be in a better place next week when we see each other again on Thursday. Yeah, so a week from now, because Tuesday I'm not in town, so I can't stream. Yeah, petting cats help. Aww. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're both such sweethearts. Thank you so much for being around. Despite like me not offering such great quality streaming, I am actually enjoying myself. The story is great, the characters are great. I'm really curious to see where it's going, and your company is excellent as always. So yeah, thank you so much. Looking forward to continuing the story in a week. Yeah, so I will see you then, and until then, take care of yourselves. Have a nice, relaxing weekend and a good start to your week. Yeah. Love you all. Bye bye.